Welcome to the Healthpreneur podcast. My name is Yuri Elkaim, New York Times bestselling author, former professional athlete, and founder of Healthpreneur, the world's leading company helping health and fitness experts start and scale high-end coaching businesses. If you want to attract more clients, learn how to convert them without feeling salesy, and deliver an amazing program for them on the back end, if you want to be inspired by what others just like you have gone through and how you can do the same no matter what life throws your way, then you are in the right place, because every single week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're going to be bringing you the best to help you take your knowledge and expertise to the next level with your health or fitness coaching business. And if you enjoy what you see and hear and would like to take your business to the next level, then I invite you to check out our free online training over at healthpreneurgroup.com/training. And for now, let's get into today's episode. Are you treating your business like a side hustle? Well, I've got some interesting news to share with you. If that's the case, it's probably not going to pan out too well for you. And I'm going to share exactly why that is the reality in today's episode. All right, so welcome back. Hope you're doing great. So I've got the microphone like literally in my mouth today. We're going to see if that improves the audio. If it does, hey, let me know. If not, then it just looks funny if you're watching this on video. And if you're listening to me on iTunes or wherever else audio-wise, then you have no clue what I'm talking about. But maybe it sounds better. So let's talk about this idea of side hustle, hobby, blah, blah, blah. You know, I want passive income, whatever. This is, oh man, it drives me crazy when I hear this stuff. Here's why. Business is too hard not to take seriously. Business is too hard to not take seriously. If you're approaching your business, you know, like I've got this other thing going on, I'm just going to start to build this on the side with the mentality of that this is just going to generate passive income for you. First and foremost, please stop and fold your business right now. Don't even continue. I promise you it's not going to work out for you. 100% guaranteed. If you are, by contrast, building your business on the side of something else with the vision that your coaching business, which you're building now, is your dream, is your future, then keep going. But we need to be very honest, because if this is a nice to have for you, like, you know, it's nice to have, this would be great, and it's not a must, don't do it. Go work at Starbucks. Seriously, go work for somebody else, because what it takes to build a successful business is way more than you think. It's way more than you think. You're thinking it's going to be this, this, and this, but it's really going to be this, this, and this times 10. And if you're not okay with that, and if you're not even aware of that before you start, you're best not starting at all. If you're the type of person who gives up at the first sign of adversity. Here's the deal. It's like when you work out with a client, or let's say you're a trainer, you're going to bring on a new client. They've never worked out before. You're going to tell them, hey, this is going to be the easiest process you've ever been through. Just one workout a week, you're going to get in the best shape of your life. Come on, you'd be crazy, right? This person's like, dude, you're on drugs. I don't believe that. That's the reality, is that if you don't tell people, for instance, your clients in this case, upfront that this is going to be hard. I'm going to need you to show up and do the work. You're going to feel sore for the first couple of weeks. Are you okay with that? But I promise you, if you continue through this, you're going to really achieve amazing things in a few months from now. Do you understand that? Are you okay with that? Yeah, that sounds great, man. Let's do this. Perfect. Versus, hey, let's get started now. And man, this is gonna be a simple process for you. It's gonna be super easy. I'm gonna get you to work out like once a week. You're never gonna feel sore. You're gonna feel good all the time. You're gonna see amazing results when you look in the mirror right away. Sound good? The person's like, yeah, I guess. And then when it doesn't happen, they're like, what the hell? So I'm all for over-promising and over-delivering, but you need to be very upfront with people. You have to be very upfront with yourself. You gotta look in the mirror and say, hey man, am I cut out for this? Do I really have what it takes? Do I have the stamina to keep going? Do I have the resiliency to keep going when I get a lot of no's and when the things I try continually do not work for me? And if the answer is no, you got to work for someone else. It's as simple as that. You got to work for someone else, because business entrepreneurship is a very, I wouldn't say it's always enjoyable, but it's, I think, one of the most fulfilling journeys, because you become so much better as a person on this journey of building a business. You learn so much about yourself. You learn so many about like your shortcomings, your issues, especially in a coaching business where you actually have to speak to people, right? The fact that like, hey, I don't like selling. Well, that's your problem. You're gonna have to get over that, right? Why is that an issue? Well, let's have a look and let's go into that. So I'm all for building something on the side. This is actually how I started when I was a trainer back in 2006 is really when I started my first product online. So 2006, I was training clients 16 hours a day. And I'm like, this sucks. I'm not going to do this for much longer. It's been like 7 years already. It's too much. And I knew that I couldn't just quit cold turkey because it's not like I had like a boatload of cash to fall back on. So what I did was I started to carve out, and this is the important word. I started to carve out. I started to make time, not find time or find time, make time, whatever you want to think of it. I started to prioritize that time for me and my future. So if you're watching this or if you're listening to this, and you're in a clinic or if you're working with clients already and you know that's not your dream, you need to be building your dream, you have to carve out time for your dream. We tell all of our clients in our HBA program, put 2 hours a day aside for this. If you do that, you'll be ready to go in 30 days. Is everyone doing that? No, which is sad, right? Because it doesn't take that long to build out your perfect client pipeline. But you have to put the time aside. You have to put the time aside. So when I was starting as a trainer, making that transition from trainer to online, I would have 1 hour for whatever break between clients. I would schedule that hour off. I'd go into the office. I'd work on my stuff. And by my stuff, I mean at the time was just stuff I had no clue what I was doing. So I was just creating products and writing articles and stuff that really never moved the needle because my first year I made a total of $6,000. I want you to do more than that. I want you to do a lot more than that. If this is your first year in business, you can earn $100,000 or more. But that's up to you, or less, right? It's totally up to you. If you're following the right model, if you have the right stamina, if you're the right type of communicator, there's a lot of different variables, but it can be done if you're following, I think most specifically, the right strategy and you're getting the right coaching. Neither of which I was doing for the first 3 years of my business. And that's why I struggled for so long. So I don't want you to make the same mistake. So I was starting my side hustle and slowly but surely putting more time aside to build the business. And by 2 years into it, I told my clients, we're done. Everyone, thanks so much. I gotta go. I gotta work in my business. And I kept like 2 or 3 clients because I actually enjoyed them as friends. And we just kind of worked out in the park. But I told everyone, I'm like, listen, like I love you. I love working with you. This has been an amazing ride, but I have to be very honest with you. I need to build my dream. And every single one of them understood. They're like, hey man, you should totally do that. And when I look at how far I've come, I'm like, I'm really happy I made that decision. Because there are still people that I worked with back in the day that are still working as trainers in that gym. And there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, like listen, like people need trainers. But I'm really happy it's not me. Because I made the decision to make time for my dream and put in the work at the time. I never considered this a side hustle. That was the distinction. I never considered it a side hustle. I was building my dream on the side, but it was never a hobby or a side hustle. It's a mentality. It's not a time thing. It's a mentality, not a time thing. So whether you see your business as a hobby or a side hustle or your legacy is in your mind. So when I was training clients and I was working 1 hour a day on my business, I knew I was building my dream. I was building my legacy. It wasn't a hobby for me, but it had to start slowly but surely because I couldn't just cut all my clients and obviously have no income. So in your position, I don't know what position you're in right now. Maybe it's you're in a position where you can, cold turkey, go full-fledged into something else and you've got a reserve of cash to live off for a couple months. I don't necessarily think you need to do that. I think it's probably a smarter idea to carve out and make time, not like, let me see if I can squeeze it in. No. Instead of seeing 12 hours of clients a day, you say, listen, I'm only seeing 8 hours of clients a day. I'm going to have a bit of time for myself. I'm going to spend 1 or 2 hours on my business and my dream, and I'm going to build this puppy. And that's the way you have to approach it. You have to approach this like it's everything for you. You have to put all of your eggs into this basket. There is no plan B. And I want you to get to the point where you burn all your bridges. I want you to get to the point where you burn your bridges. Not with obviously people, but other alternatives. If this doesn't work out, well, at least I could do this other thing. Don't even think that. If you think that, don't even start. We only want to work with people. I only care to associate with people who are, no matter what happens, I will figure out a way to make this work. I will figure out a way. As an example, I got a massive rude awakening a year ago when my accountant told me what I owed in taxes. And like I was livid. I'm talking like massively pissed off for about a day. And I'm like, how dare you drop this on me 2 days before tax return is due? It was ridiculous. Like I'm talking about like a tax return of 10 times what I thought it was going to be, based on the way we had structured a few things with whatever. I'm not going to get into the specifics of that. I'm usually pretty good with my math, my numbers, but I was not expecting that. And this is a great example of shit just happening sometimes. And if you don't have the mentality of like, you know what? I'm going to figure this out. It's all good. It sucks, but it's all good. It's my fault. I take responsibility for not being super clear up front about this when it, first started happening, in respect to the conversation, perhaps with my accountant. I take full responsibility. I'm a friggin' idiot for allowing that to happen, but you know what? It's never going to happen again. So, hey, you know what, Yuri? Get out from under the sheets, put your big boy pants on, and figure this out. And I'm telling you, man, like this is the mindset. This is the only reason why I am where I am in life. And I'm not pretending to be the world's smartest entrepreneur, the world's most successful businessman. Listen, I'm not. But I've enjoyed a lot of success, but I've also made a lot of mistakes. And I've enjoyed, I shouldn't say I've enjoyed, I've had a lot of failures. But I'm telling you, if you don't have the wherewithal to get up when you've been knocked down, it's not for you. Business is not for you. It's too hard. It's too hard to treat this as a side hustle, as a hobby continuously. Like this has got to be your all in. Like everything you've got has to be in your business. Your energy, your love, your passion, your time, your thinking. You think about your business all the time. Hey, that's the way it is, and it's never going to change. You're going to be 90. I told my wife, I'm like, listen, babe, you know me by now. This is not going to change. When I'm 140 years old, I'm still going to be like the way I am. I'm still going to be thinking of ways to serve people and still kind of coming up with schemes to better our business and to serve the world. That's never going to change. And if you're okay with that, that's great. Just be honest about it. And if the people around you are not okay with it, then maybe it's time to have a conversation with them. One of our clients, actually, I didn't even know this until he posted this in the Facebook group. I'm not going to mention his name or the specifics of the situation, but he was saying that he had, so this is an example of the type of client I love working with. He's a do whatever it takes kind of person. He had 2 people he borrowed money from to join and work with us. Then he was so committed to this process that I believe it was his fiance or his girlfriend, didn't understand him, like could no longer understand what he was going through and would not support him, not financially, but just, emotionally and so forth. And they broke up. And this was like the person he thought he was going to marry. And like, yes, that sucks. It definitely sucks. But you know what? Everything happens for us. It's probably the best thing that's ever happened to him because he knows he's doing what he needs to be doing. He's building his dream, his legacy. And if he's with someone who's not supporting that, that's the wrong person. So yeah, obviously I don't want that to happen to anyone, but if it does, you know what? Who cares? You got to move on because someone better will come down the road, right? Who understands what you're going through and can deal with your insane head of being an entrepreneur. That's the way it is. Like that's the way we are. We are freaks of nature. We are different than most people. You cannot have a conversation with normal people. We're not normal. We are not normal. We are unreasonable. We are thinking about business all the time. Work-life balance doesn't exist for us. It's life. It's not work-life balance. There's no work in life. It's life. So when I'm traveling for quote unquote vacation, do you think I've turned my brain off and I'm not thinking about business at all? No way. Every single moment I'm thinking of something. Now I have to obviously do my best to be focused in the present and be present with my kids, which I think I do a very good job of. I'm not on my phone all the time. But when I'm sitting on the beach, which is very rare, I can only sit there for maybe half an hour. When I'm sitting on the beach, I'll take that time to maybe meditate, reflect, but then boom, it's going into, okay, how do I make this better? How do I improve this? How do I serve these people? How can I create some cool thing here? That's the way we're wired, and you have to be okay with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you can appreciate that and understand that's who you are, that's just part of who you are. It's your life. And there's no work-life balance. Like if I'm taking a trip with my family, it's not a vacation. I'm just doing what I do in a different place and maybe taking a little bit more time off to play tennis and hang out and play on the beach. There's no difference for me because I'm still working. I'm still doing calls with our clients. But I love what I do, just as you should love what you do. So this whole rant is really about just being okay with the process, being okay with who you are as an entrepreneur, and being okay with what's going on between your ears of understanding this is just who you are, right? And there's nothing wrong with you. There's no pill you need to take. There's no retreat you have to go on to put your life in balance. It's never going to be in balance. It's never going to be in balance. But because it's never in balance, it's in balance, right? The imperfection is the balance, right? And obviously we can help you with getting more free time back in your life and improving your schedule and the way you do your work and stuff. But it's okay. It's okay to do what you're doing, and there's nothing wrong with you. But I just want to remind you that if you're building this business as a hobby or a side hustle to build a bit of passive income, that passive income is never going to arrive in your bank because it takes way too much work to build passive income. And if you're not okay with that, then work for someone else. Okay? So there is the honest truth today, guys. That is the truth about what it takes to build a business. And I hope you have taken this message to heart. I'd love to know your thoughts. If you're watching this on YouTube, let me know in the comments below. If you're listening to this on the podcast, hey, just head on over to Facebook and or on Instagram. Just find me at Healthpreneur1 and let me know your thoughts. Cool? If you are a true entrepreneur, you will understand what I'm saying. If you're not a true entrepreneur, you're probably thinking I'm crazy. It's because you're not a true entrepreneur. It's all good. I'm not judging, but it's just about being honest and looking in the mirror and saying, this is who I am, or this is not who I am. Until next time, I'll see you guys soon. Hey, thanks so much for joining us on this episode of the Healthpreneur podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, here's what I'd like you to do right now. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the Healthpreneur podcast on iTunes. And while you're there, leave us a rating or review. It helps us get in front of more people and change more lives. And if you're ready to start or scale your health or fitness coaching business and want to start getting in front of more people, working with them at a higher level without trading time for money, then I invite you to check out our free 7-figure health business blueprint training, totally free right now. And you can do so at healthpreneurgroup.com/training. For now, thank you so much for joining us. Continue to be great, do great, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.